Hello, my name is Ariana Jones, and this is my persuasive speech. One fall night, when I attended an out of state university, my roommate and I were walking back to my dorm from an on campus event at my university. Just before we got to our dorm, a kid screamed the hard R from a white truck as they passed by us. According to the Penn State Student Affairs, their article, The Relationship Between Experiences of Discrimination and Presenting Distress states, according to the data from the National College Health Assessment, 7.9% of students experience discrimination, and this rate is even higher in students who identify with minority identities. Being discriminated against is an everyday occurrence with little to no action being called upon to put a stop to it. Getting discriminated against while doing something as simple as walking back to my college dorm affected me in a way I never knew it would. My roommate and I are not the only people who have been discriminated against on their college campus, and will not be the last unless action is made. Every day, students are being discriminated against on their college or university's campus, and universities fail to take responsibility, as well as to take action on these situations. Being discriminated against affects the mental health of students involved. The Center for Collegiate Mental Health state in their article, Center for Collegiate Mental Health 2023 Annual Report, published on the American Council of Education, that college students who have experienced discrimination are more likely to report high levels of distress, social isolation, and suicidal ideation than their peers. It has been reported that students who have been discriminated against at their college universities are more likely to utilize their college counseling centers, as well as being most likely to experience anxiety and mental health problems. Being discriminated against affects the school life of students. Not only does being discriminated against affect the mental health of students affected, it also affects the academic success of a student's school life. Michelle J. Eliasson and Ruby Turalba of the Review of Higher Education mentioned in their research article titled Recognizing Oppression, College Students' Perceptions of Identity and Its Impact on Class Participation. Structural oppression reflected within the university setting can adversely impact class participation and the students' learning experiences, particularly for students from stigmatized minority populations. Now that I talked about the problem, let's look at the solution. The United States federal government should pass the Student Protection and University Accountability Act of 2026. This bill is published by GovTrack.us and sponsored by the Representative Elise Stefanik, a member of the Republican Party. This bill focuses on the action college and universities would enforce in their schools to hold those students and schools accountable. The bill states, with respect to public awareness, campaign materials and created and distributed by the Office for Civil Rights of the Department of Education relating to protections for individuals of the Civil Rights Act of 1964, display publish such materials. This shows how the bill will enforce investigative processes when it comes to a student's civil rights being violated and the action that will be called. This bill would increase the amount of transparency of colleges and universities in being held accountable for violating their civil rights responsibilities. This federal bill is important because if it was a law, the lives of students who have been discriminated against will receive justice for what they have been put through and their voices would be heard. The enactment of this bill would hold universities and colleges accountable for not taking serious action against the students of their schools being discriminated against. If this bill is passed, investigations will be enforced and procedures would be put into place to provide protection for those whose civil rights have been violated. Now that we covered the solution, let's look at the visualization. If we pass this bill, the following positive outcomes will take place. Cases made by students who have experienced any type of discrimination on their college campuses will be taken seriously. This bill will make changes to the Office of Civil Rights investigation processes, making sure that these cases will be investigated and won't be dismissed. Passing this bill will enforce schools to display the Title VI of the Civil Rights Act, holding schools accountable for handling violations. If we do not pass this bill, the following negative outcomes could take place. If we fail to pass this bill, the universities will not enforce the Title VI of Civil Rights Act, leaving civil rights compliance to be unseen and unaccounted for. The Orthodox Union Advocacy Center of Washington, D.C.'s article titled Orthodox Union Advocacy Center Endorses Students' Protection and University Accountability Act states, creates requirements for congressional briefings on Department of Education investigations into the Title VI violations. Based on this, the bill will enforce schools to have investigations on civil rights violations. Now that we covered the visualization, let's turn our attention to the action step. In order to make this bill into a law, we must contact our congressional representative, Josh Harder. One way of contacting our congressional representative is by the website harder.house.gov and clicking Contact Us to get in touch with him and his team. Another way of contacting him is by emailing him or calling the number 209-579-5458. To wrap up my speech, today we focus on how the United States federal government should pass the Student Protection and University Accountability Act of 2026. Being discriminated against is in an environment students deserve to feel safe in plays an effect on their mental health as well as their overall performance in school. Passing this bill could change the lives of many students on their college campuses by making them a safer environment as well as making sure students' voices are being heard. Thank you for listening to my speech.